It is tote bag night here at the ballpark. Giveaway. Lots of folks got here early. Hey, why not? The home team starting to win consecutive ball games. Has been a pretty exciting place to be last couple of days. And it's game 3 of this 4-game series against the Pirates. Big news last night, who was about to hit leadoff. Big news tonight, who's going to at least stay there for the time being. And FP, not always immediate results in this game. Last night, a pretty good example.
Well, Bryce got to play last night. That was the story of the game. Obviously, Max did his thing, but Bryce saw some pitches to hit, and there was a lot of love in the building last night between the skipper and some players that were helping him out. You look at Daniel Murphy right there, kind of telling him, you're coming in too steep. Get your hands inside the ball. Hit the ball to left. There's hits in left field. His manager after this hug said, hey, with 2 strikes, I want you to hit the ball to left. You remember he flied out deep to left his 2nd time up. Then his 3rd time, he goes deep with his 9th home run of the year. So the hug with the manager, he led off last night. He tweeted after the game, nobody believes in us more than this man. He showed a picture of that hug right there. So it all starts with the skipper, according to Bryce Harper. He loves Dave Martinez. So like I said, a lot of love in the building last night.
Yeah, what a nice feel-good night for the Nats. Hey, not to be forgotten, the fact that Wilmer Defoe was on base for Bryce a couple of times. That kid had a great night down at the bottom of the order. Everybody hugging, everybody having a good time. Okay.
Sorry, everybody's hugging. I thought.
Hey, why not? Hey, and maybe Max Scherzer gets a hug too. He's the National League Pitcher of the Month. He showed his strength again here last night as well.
Yeah, I think, I haven't talked to him about this, but I think he wants to start in the All-Star game on the mound right behind us in his home ballpark. He's 6-1 right now. Definitely deserved Pitcher of the Month. He's been the Pitcher of the Year for 2 years straight, so not surprised that he won Pitcher of the Month.
Steven Strasburg has had some pretty good memories against those Pittsburgh Pirates. First of all, his debut back in June of 10. 7 innings, 14 strikeouts. It was unbelievable the way he blew the Bucks away. Then you can kind of fast forward to late last season in September on 29th. No runs, couple of hits, 7 2/3, 8 strikeouts. Won his 15th game last year. He's after number 3 tonight. PNC Bank, hello sir. There's no better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day. Folks coming into the ballpark, the Nats are averaging 26,750 a game. That'll go up when school's out and we get more of this amazing baseball weather. It could be jumping tonight, the ball that is. Flags aren't doing a thing. It's 86 degrees. Thankfully, the humidity way down there at 21%. Francisco Cervelli had a career best 20 RBIs in the month of April, and since the 10th of that month, he's hitting over 400. He is 0 for 2 with a walk career against Steven Strasburg. Couple of hits in this series, and he'll be behind the plate for his 3rd consecutive game for the Pirates, who are 17-13 and a half game back of the Cubs in Milwaukee entering today. Strasburg 5-2 career, 8 starts against Pittsburgh.
There's the arsenal. You see the slider, curveball, changeup combo. 148 the average against the curveball, 150 against the changeup. Allowed 5 earned runs on 6 hits over 6 1/3 last start against the Diamondbacks. That was on the 27th. Struck out 7 in that one. So 6'4", 235, 29-year-old Steven Strasburg starts it up against the team it all started up with.
That it did. Underway tonight at 7:06 with a strike. Max Moroff, the second baseman. Adam Frazier had been starting there first couple of nights. This guy hit a home run in the ball game last night, got him in the lineup this evening, facing Strasburg for the first time, and that's up and in. Crew chief has the plate tonight, 23-year veteran Eric Cooper. Chad Fairchild, Bruce Dreckman, Mike Estabrook, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The slider early, 90 on the slide piece.
Slider, cutter, kind of in between. You look at the movement right there. That's a good pitch to keep him off your fastball, kind of leaning out over the plate to hit it to left.
That one is going to left. It's tailing. Stevenson in the corner, jumping, catching, and then bracing himself after catching the foul ball on a really good play.
That was a routine fly ball off the bat. I mean, he hit it on the nose, but just to give you an idea how the ball's flying here tonight, that one went far, a lot farther than I thought it was going to go. And check out young Andrew Stevenson in the corner, getting some air just in case that fence is a little closer than he thought. Not a bad idea. Always hit the wall softer when you're in the air versus on the ground.
Didn't know that. Well done by both of you. 1 out. Here's Polanco outside. And then Strasburg cutting, sliding again. Pretty effective first couple of hitters here.
He's thrown the slider 5% of the time this year. I think you're going to see it a lot more tonight. The Pirates are a tough team to strike out. They're tied with the Braves with the least amount of strikeouts in the National League at 227. So, you know, if you're going to strike these guys out, and Steven's got strikeout stuff, you make them aware of the inside pitch first. Get them maybe cheating to hit that slider, and then it opens up your curveball, your changeup, and your two-seamer on the other side.
So Starling Marte on deck. 2-1. Off the shoe of Strasburg, and he was never able to locate it. That's a tough break for the Nats, because had that gone through, Trey Turner was stationed right up the middle. Polanco will get a base hit off Steven's shoe.
Not Rick's shoe, Steven's shoe. Off the heel, a little ricochet, perfectly placed. We saw Rick when we were in San Francisco. He's the assistant hitting coach for the Giants now, in case you're wondering.
Here's Marte. Had most of the game off on Monday. And pretty solid career numbers against Steven Strasburg, who has struck him out 5 times, but he has 5 hits, a homer, 2 RBIs. Pirates second in the league in batting average and in runs to the Braves. There's a base hit to left.
I'll show you some Nats defense behind Steven tonight. Stevenson, you already saw him. Michael A in center, leadoff guy in right. Turner Kendrick up the middle, Defo Adams at the corner, and Pedro Severino in there tonight. Ivan Nova throws a lot of strikes. The manager liked Severino in there, especially with the day game tomorrow. Matt Wieters probably be back.
So Josh Bell, the cleanup man. A couple of hits, a walk in the series. In there with 2 aboard. From the left side, hitting .229, but .243 overall. Bouncing ball. They'll have to hurry for 2. Turner, the exchange, not in time. Polanco will end up at third, 2 outs.
Yeah, that last hop kind of kept Howie Kendrick back. Then he had to do the spin move, maybe a little bobble in there, and then Trey Turner with the exchange. I don't think that looked like a double play off the bat. Maybe a hair quicker and a perfect feed, perfect turn. It would have been a little closer, but we'll take the second out. What are we doing here?
Maybe something about the play at second.
Was Trey on the base? I didn't look for it. I never do. Somebody must have called the dugout from the clubhouse. Yeah, they're going to look at it.
Pirates are going to challenge, evidently, the out at second and whether Trey Turner was on the bag or not. He was trying to be as quick as he could after what you said, the play developing rather slowly.
Well, a lot of times as a shortstop, you kind of kick the bag with your right foot. He's on there. Did he come off before he caught the baseball? His foot was initially on there, something you have to do nowadays. This is like a play at first almost when they try to cheat for the out. Ooh. That did not look good for the home team.
Looks like he was off of there. And if that happens the way we think it might, it'll be bases loaded, 1 out.
I like replay to get things right, but when you start getting nitpicky like this is when it makes me mad. It really does. Whether it was the Pirates turning it or the Nats turning it, when you start going into milliseconds and fractions of a second, it's just not baseball. Fair foul, home run, non-home run, you know, safe out at first on a bang-bang play. Hey, it's great. Get it right. This stuff.
Runner is safe and the bases are loaded.
The popping off the bag just for a millisecond while the guy keeps the tag. All of that. They need to get rid of that. Sorry. It's just not baseball.
So 2 hits, a fielder's choice, and they give Trey Turner an error for coming off the bag too soon. Trey's 3rd error of the year, and the Nats committing their first miscue in the field in a week. And the guy the Pirates would likely choose to be the man they'd want in the batter's box right now is Corey Dickerson. The way he's going, he has homered in the first 2 games of this series. So hits by Polanco and Marte. Josh Bell, the fielder's choice. Dangerous count, dangerous situation right out of the gate. Strike call near the outside edge.
Remember, he had the bases loaded scenario in Dodger Stadium with nobody out, and he struck out 3 tough Dodger hitters. I think it started with Cody Bellinger. And he did it with fastballs, so he just reared back and threw some heat by some Dodgers, and he's probably recalling that right now in his mind. What did I do to get out of that? I need to do it here.
Foul tip, strike 2.
Lots of sliders early. That's a 4th or 5th one he's thrown.
9 strikes, 7 balls so far.
It's a good take.
Yeah,
Not an
with the
easy
changeup away, huh?
91 on the changeup. I used to love this count as a hitter. 3-2 bases loaded. I felt like the pitcher had to throw me a strike. It's almost like a 3-0 count.
Strasburg career 2.38 ERA against the Pirates. In those 8 starts we mentioned, this is his 7th start of the year. To second, Turner, Kendrick. Safe at first. Pirates get a run on that fielder's choice grounder, and they're on the board.
Kind of a jailbreak swing right here by Corey Dickerson. He was running and hitting at the same time, and I think that's what allowed him to beat it. Howie sure as heck stepped on the base, didn't he, on that one? And a nice pick by Matt Adams. But watch Dickerson kind of swinging and running all at the same time. That allowed him to beat it out. He's pretty fast anyways. But the fact that he didn't take a real big swing right there, put it in play, got the Pirates ahead and got Corey Dickerson an RBI.
Well, here's Jerry Cooper over by the Pirate dugout again.
Same thing. They're checking the same thing.
They're going to challenge again.
Clint Hurdle said second again. And he wasn't on the bag. Oh, maybe he was. That shot right there. Rewind that and show that again. It looked like for a millisecond he was. Yeah, maybe Bell blocks it out there. Right here. Stop it when he catches it. Boom. Toes on the bag. And is that enough to overturn an out call?
You would think not.
This is fun. I mean, if you want kids to get excited about baseball, this isn't getting any kid excited about baseball. Sorry. I mean, you want to speed up the game. You're talking about the youth, social media, get them involved in ball. We're all excited to play. It's a 7 o'clock start. Steven Strasburg's on the mound. We're sitting here watching umpires on headsets. I mean, if I'm a kid right now and I'm 10, I'm turning the channel. Sorry. This isn't baseball. And he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
Crowd's about to have an uprising here. And I don't care what the play is, what the call is, what kind of play it is. There has to be some kind of time limit once the umpires put on the headsets. The runner is out. So 2 down, 1-0 Pirates. And Francisco Cervelli will be coming to the plate. Cervelli 0 for 2 with a walk career against Strasburg. It's been the Pirates' best batter with runners in scoring position at .478. Dickerson, by the way, at first base, 2 for 2. So Severino with those signs. In case he's running, here's the 0-1. He's holding, and that's very close. Counts even. Good slide by Severino, way to his right.
And pretty good block. I'm back. I had to go take some deep breaths. Nice block by Pedro here, getting in front, using the chest protector. Keeping everybody right where they started.
Two on, runners at the corners with 2 out. And now it's even again.
If Dave Martinez had done the same thing, I just wouldn't have been that upset. I'd have been thinking the same thing I just said. Just doesn't seem like baseball, right? And I know everybody at home agrees.
Two runner goes, and no chance for Severino to do anything. So Dickerson steals second.
Pitch number 25 coming. And we always talk about Steven Strasburg's a rhythm guy. You know, the freight train gets going in the 3rd or 4th inning. Once he gets into a groove, he can't be stopped. We've seen it a million times at home, in person. There's no rhythm right now because of everything that's happened here. He's just trying to get out of the first and get into the rhythm I'm talking about.
Yeah, getting out of this with 1 run would be outstanding.
Like I said, this is a hard team to strike out. A lot of pesky hitters. They make 2-strike adjustments.
Pirates and the Atlanta Braves, the fewest strikeouts as a team or as teams in the National League. 3-2 again. So we mentioned Cervelli at 478 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's even better. Swing and a miss. And in the time it took to play that inning, that half inning, Bryce Harper, by the way, will lead off. The Caps and the Penguins could have had an entire intermission.
I mean, I know it's the way baseball is. I know you have to have your foot on the base, but my analogy is like changing lanes. You know, you put your blinker on, you kind of glance over your shoulder, you change lanes. You don't put your hand at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, put the blinker on for 5 seconds, and then look over your shoulder for a long time and change lanes like they taught you how to do it in driver's school. I mean, you do it one way your whole life, so it's hard for these middle infielders to change. You know, their whole life they've been doing the neighborhood play. It's something new. I'm sure if you ask Howie, he said my foot was on the bag. Trey probably thought his foot was on the bag, but I'm just saying the nitpicky part, this isn't baseball, and I'll stop now.
Bryce Harper, 2 for 6 career, 31-year-old Ivan Nova, the matchup number. With a couple of RBIs, the shift is on, and his first pitch at 7:26 fouled off. Turner and Adams to follow. Matt huge last night, and then Kendrick Taylor Stevenson, pitcher batting 8th again, Defoe 9th. Matt Adams last 4 starts, he's all over it. Ball is just jumping off his bat.
There's an arsenal for Ivan Nova. He got a 2-seam fastball. He likes it to the arm side. He'll try to expand the lefties. He'll also try to expand the righties in. He likes it on that side of the plate. Curveball is probably his best secondary pitch. Opponent's hitting 121 against that. There it is.
That bounces in. $15 starts in 16 before coming over to the Pirates for the last 11 starts of the season.
Yeah, he's a guy that used to want to strike everybody out early in his career, and his pitch count would go way up. You know, he'd be at 100 pitches in the 5th inning, but he's learned how to really pitch. He's a pitch to contact guy now that gets a lot of ground balls with that 2-seamer.
2-2 to Harper. High in the air, right center, has the leadoff guy homered again. See you later. Upper deck, we're tied. A true leadoff homer for Bryce Harper.
Double digits. Another hug. He's never let off a game with a homer before. That's a first. There goes the no-hitter. There goes the shutout on number 10 from Louis leadoff.
So Bryce ties A.J. Pollock, the National League Player of the Month, and Charlie Blackmon with his 10th. Ball 1 to Trey Turner, and he takes one that evens the count.
I mean, they pitched to him last night. They're pitching to him again tonight. You never want to walk the leadoff guy. So, I mean, we told you last year, Anthony Rizzo led off the first 5 games. He led off last year with a home run. Kind of ignited that Cubs offense. And we talk about the Nats the last 7 days. They're 4th in baseball with a .290 average. So the weather's heating up. He's heating up. The team's starting to swing the bat.
Yeah, the ball's starting to reach parts of this park we haven't seen yet this year. That was a towering drive that was in the air a long time and still made it to the very end of the 2nd deck.
And I believe that was a jab too, and not a knockout punch by Bryce. That was a nice easy swing.
Yeah. Now another long count, 3-2 to Turner. Trey strikes out.
All right, show me the tater again. Watch how easy. It's a very smooth swing. Not a lot of effort to it. Kevin Long talks about staying in the fight with jabs and forget about the knockout punch. That was a jab right there, but it went a long ways. And they are a bunch of hugging fools right now. We like it.
Don't make a mistake to this guy. Matt Adams hitting them as far as anybody lately in this series, 4 for 8. And last night, 2 homers, 3 batted in. He went 3 for 4. 1-1. And this one in the air, going a ways to left. Dickerson up against the wall. See you later. 2-1 Nationals. Where do you pitch Matt Adams right now?
I'm telling you, barrel up a baseball in the air, it's a tater. I watched the Cleveland game today, and they were just hitting them out at will to right center field. It's starting to warm up on the East Coast, and the ball is traveling. Corey Dickerson would have ran in on that 2 weeks ago here at Nats Park, but it's 86 degrees, and the ball's flying.
So Adams now has the second most homers on the team. Howie steps in, he's hit 4. And he hits a hard one to left. 3 out of 4 batters stinging the ball here against Ivan Nova.
They get excited about the leadoff homer. Matt Adams is locked in, but this is a nice answer by the Nats, putting up a 2 spot after the Pirates scored 1, and give Steven credit for getting out of that jam, giving up just 1 run in the first when it seemed like a bunch of weird stuff was going on everywhere.
Yeah, his teammates have given him a nice message and a nice lift here. Nova had given up 4 home runs in 38 innings before tonight.
And you can't blame Clint Hurdle for exploiting the rule. I mean, he's doing what he should do for his ball club, right?
Every clubhouse video guy, every manager in baseball would have done what the Pirates did in the top of the first. Mike Olay 1 for 8 in the series. Short lead by Howie. That's up the middle, hit hard. Jordy Mercer stabs it beautifully, and they'll get the lead runner for the second out.
Nice play. Check out Matt Adams' tater again. He's smiling in the background. He should be. He's hit 3 taters in the last 2 nights. Remember, last night was right center, then left center. Tonight he just goes the other way into the flowers. And what kind of flowers are those?
Tater plants.
Tater Club.
Yeah, Matt Adams last 4 at bats, 3 homers, a single, 4 runs batted in. There's Andrew Stevenson up in the number 6 spot tonight. Made that really good play in foul ground to get Strasburg his first out in the top of the first. Yeah, power guys hanging out. Matt Adams now 6 home runs in 55 at bats. Taylor 9 for 9. He's off and running. Pitch up, it's a strike. Throw up, it's a stolen base.
Well, nice jump by Michael A. Taylor. Francisco Cervelli has 5 caught stealings this year. It's the 2nd most in the National League. Remember, he caught Trey Turner in this series already, but Michael A. with an early slide, the helmet thankfully didn't come up and bite him and just gets the hand in. Nice.
So Turner and Taylor have combined 22 for 23. Nobody's gotten Michael yet. Stevenson can make it a 3-1 game with a base hit. Outside, 2-1.
The best part about the Nats' 33 stolen bases now, Carp, besides being the most in the National League, the 84% success rate. They're just not running wild. They're successful. And that's the highest success rate, too.
Change up 2-2. So the starters have combined for 48 pitches in this wild first inning.
People would tell me those are petunias in left, in case you're wondering.
This one hard hit, but right at Max Moroff. And the Nats have a loud bottom of the first. Bryce Harper leads off. As FP said, hits one out of the yard as a leadoff guy. First time ever to lead off a game. And 1 out later, Matt Adams the other way. 2-1 for the guys with a lot of power. Lots of power for the Nats. They've now hit 37 on the year. Second only to the Rockies, who got 2 from Nolan Arenado, 1 from Trevor Story, and 1 from Chris Iannetta as they shellacked the Cubs 11-2 today at Wrigley Field. So here's Steven Strasburg looking for the shutdown inning. David Freese, first assignment of the series. 263, couple of home runs.
You know, Max said something about that in his locker last night after the game. He was most proud of the shutdown innings after his team got him some runs, get him right back in the dugout. Takes pride in putting up a 0 once his ball club scores him some runs.
Nats have scored first more than any other team in baseball. They scored early and big for him last night. Once the third inning rolled around, the barrage was on. Swing and a miss. David Freese down on strikes. 2 Ks in a row for Strasburg.
Power change. Watch a movement on this one. Starts right in the middle of the zone and then split action at the end. You see the grip. It is a changeup. But I've never seen a changeup so violently move down as Stevens does.
Number 8 hitter is the shortstop Jordy Mercer. He's on an 8-game hitting streak. So the Nats have now scored first in 23 of their 31 games. That's the most in baseball. Houston and Milwaukee 18. And the 2 runs tonight, 30 first inning runs for the Nats, averaging almost 1 per game. Those 2 guys might take that average tomorrow night, actually tomorrow day and Friday night, and do something else with it. On a pitch up, that ball's hit well to center. Taylor to the wall, about a step in front of it, pulls in that drive by Jordy Mercer, who has not hit a home run this year. How about the first inning tonight? As we told you, it was at 48 pitches and it ended up at 50 pitches. 2 challenges. Pirates 1 for 2.
A partridge and a pear tree.
Nova 5 for 104 career. Long time in the American League with the Yankees. He aired it out there. Chopper. Strasburg will have an 11-pitch second inning. He'll also bat after Severino and before Defoe.
Later in this contest. 2-1, bottom of the second. Dan's got something about glasses. He doesn't wear them, but somebody else does.
I wear contacts, FP, and so did Pedro Severino up until recently. We've noticed the last handful of days, at least at the plate, he's been wearing those glasses. That's something that he's not going to do when he's catching, but he has been doing it when hitting. He said he was just growing tired of the contacts that he had been wearing. Said he started wearing the glasses a few days ago, and at first it was an adjustment for him. It felt like every fastball was coming at him 100 miles an hour. But he started to adjust to it since then. He's been recognizing spin better. Said he noticed the seams on a slider the other day, mid-flight, saw the rotation of the ball, stayed back on it, and ripped it for a single. So he thinks the glasses will help. And guys, it's kind of reminiscent to me of Wilson Ramos having the LASIK surgery a handful of years into his big league career. Pedro realizing his vision could be a little better, making an adjustment with the glasses, and thinks it's going to help him.
All right, Dan, thank you. He steps in here. He told me today during BP it's a matter of comfort, not quite comfortable with something on your face. He said, I'll get there. But so far, so good. And by the way, Wilson Ramos is raking for the Rays right now.
Buffalo.
Good for him.
I wear both, and I see so much better with glasses, so it makes a lot of sense to me.
Out ahead of a couple here.
I honestly don't know how hitters hit with contacts in, and you'd be shocked at the number of guys that wear contacts in baseball. You know, just the wind blows, they dry out. You know, you always have the chance of one of them kind of folding up or popping out. I don't know how they do it.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, down and away. Second K by Nova. He'll face Strasburg.
All right, this is a huge homestand, so I hope you're coming out to the yard. The 27-time champion Padres are coming to town. No, I just said that on my own. The Yankees are coming to town May 16th, 15th. The Dodgers May 18th through the 20th. Padres to end the homestand, so it's a big one, folks. Come out to the yard. Go to nationals.com to get your tickets. 27-time world champs.
I think the Giants are second. One. By the way, Wilson Ramos hitting .313, slugging .525 for the Rays with 4 homers and 14 RBIs. Good for him.
Good for him. Long road back from that knee surgery.
Yeah. There he is. Davey couldn't talk enough about the energy of Wilmer Defoe and what he meant to the ball game last night. Defoe homered his first time up to get the Nats on the board. He walked his next 2 times up, so was on base twice in front of Bryce Harper, including the 3-run homer, and then another base hit for good measure in the 8th inning.
Pretty good at bat working here by Steven. Laid off a nasty curve, another borderline pitch. Now you're thinking 3-2 fastball. We'll see.
And Strasburg hits one to short. Check out that long ball by the little guy last night.
Well, he shaved the dreads off, cut his hair, and went deep. There's a great picture, I think, on the Nationals Instagram of Wilmer flexing his bicep in the dugout yesterday after he hit that. So his first tater of the year, and he just went all Arnold Schwarzenegger in the dugouts. But hey, we love to watch him play. We love his energy. He's fun to watch.
Last 6 games raking. 4 for 6, 2 walks, 4 runs, a homer, and a couple batted in during this series. Against Nova, he's 2 for 2 career. And by the way, St. Louis, the 2nd most World Series wins to the Yankees, 27. They have 11. The A's and the Giants come next at 9 and 8. And Defoe pops this one up on the left side of the infield. Shortstop Jordy Mercer takes charge, and like Strasburg did, Nova gets a 1-2-3 second.
starter, but you'd think the leader in the clubhouse is a guy you're looking at. I know it's early in the season, but 6-1 now with a 1.79. He threw 106 pitches last night, 71 for strikes. He struck out 8 Pirates, and he also got a base hit to left with 2 outs for an RBI. Gave up a couple of runs in the 7th with a 12-run lead, but there you go, NL Pitcher of the Month.
Yeah, and he's got a good shot at May after last night. Here's Max Moroff, who led off the game with that fly ball down the left field line. Stevenson ran it down, caught it in foul ground, and then bumped into the padding down there. Good play. Strasburg, 11-pitch second inning, and now ahead in the 3rd.
I wonder if he even cares about awards like that now, Max. 3 Cy Youngs. Pitcher. I mean, he was pitcher of the month for the last 12 months of baseball, if you want to look at it that way, with 2 Cy Youngs back to back.
Oh-2. Boy, he saw everything there. Strikeout number 3. Mercedes-Benz pitch cast.
Well, you thought you'd see a lot more curveballs tonight from Steven. There's a beauty right there, and a 3-pitch see ya. I love watching that next one. I mean, you can't spin a bowling ball from the gutter back to the lead pin any better than that. Right in the pocket.
There's Polanco, who singled off Stevens' foot first time up. That ball is raked to right field. One hop to the 335 mark, and Polanco's 2 for 2.
That might have been a slider from Steven at 89. Let's look at it again together. Using that pitch to get him off the off speed. That one kind of had a little bit of plate. So a 1-out double for Polanco. 7th of the year.
Yeah, they've been waiting for him. Came into this game hitting a .192. Good news is he doesn't have an RBI yet in the series, and when he gets one, the Pirates are 8-0. Here's Marte. And that ball hit hard to center. Michael A. Taylor had to lay back. And so did the runner at second. So after a pause, Polanco to third. And the same 2 guys have gone back-to-back hits in the 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, pretty swing right there by Starling Marte, and Michael A. Taylor really didn't have a chance at that. If he comes in and misses it, everyone's still running. Did a nice job of keeping it in front.
Now Josh Bell. He hit the fielder's choice ground ball that counted from Turner to Kendrick. Counted as an out. And Marte is their best base stealer. He's 8 out of 10. 4th in the league with those 8. Runner started, stopped, and then the pitch was a strike.
And Steven sped up his delivery, didn't get a jump, had to shut it down.
0-2 with one out. Takes him up a little higher.
Good count to run on if you're Marte.
Runners going, pitch low, throw through, and out at second base. Severino puts it on the money, and for now, there are 2 outs and a runner at third. So, challenge used.
Right on the shoulder before his hand hits. Great throw by Pedro Severino. And a huge out here. First and third, 1 out. Now runner on third, 2 outs with 2 strikes. Nats are not only stealing bases successfully, they're hosing people too.
Well, Severino's now 4 out of 11. Matt Wieters is throwing the ball around well. He's 3 for 7. 3-2 pitch.
Oh,
A little bit low. Josh Bell takes the walk.
we've seen this a lot with Pedro. And maybe he's just a good framer and he tricks you for a second. But a lot of times the pitcher's been hitting his glove right where he's set up and he's not getting the call.
So another situation with a runner at first. Bell 0 for 2 running this year. And Corey Dickerson first time up. The RBI ground ball. Strasburg, great job to keep it at 1 run in the first, but this is going to tie the game in the third as Dickerson goes the other way, and he now has 5 batted in this series. 2-2.
I talked to Corey today during batting practice about the way he chokes up on the bat, and he said he just started doing it this year. Said it felt good to him and he has better control of the barrel through the zone. He doesn't lose the feel of the barrel in the strike zone. It allows him to keep more of a level swing. He said when you're down on the knob, sometimes that barrel kind of drops below your hands and you hit fly balls. Because when I'm going to left, if I'm choked up, I keep my bat level through the zone. He goes, I'm sacrificing some pop for it, but I feel like I'll be more consistent about hitting line drives and putting the ball in play.
Yeah, he squared up to in this series earlier. So the Pirates giving Strasburg another long inning. Cervelli, the 6th Pirate to bat in the third. Can't catch up with that high heat. 0-2. Cervelli's now caught 25 of Pittsburgh's first 31 games. 8 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. Been a wild one. Pirates unearned run in the first, 2 homers for the Nats, Harper and Adams. Now they've tied it, and that ball's up and away, 1-2. Strasburg struck him out swinging first time. He was strikeout victim number 1. Now he's strikeout victim number 4. Tie game. Here comes Bryce, starting to build something big at the top of this order.
to make this like the commercials we always see? When they use your "see you later" and Bryce is hitting a home run.
Deep right center. See you upper tank. Thank you.
Bryce Harper is built for baseball, and he hit that one far. So our little campaign, "Let Bryce Play," is kind of working. Maybe the manager put him in the leadoff spot. A little tiny something to do with it.
So here he is leading off bottom of the third. Bryce now on base 17 consecutive games, but now he is slamming his way aboard and not just walking.
You know, Bryce had some quotes after the game I thought were awesome. He said it all starts in that manager's office. He's one of the best I've ever been around. And they've struck up quite a relationship in a month. And you think about Bryce's career, Carp. You know, travel teams as a kid, different managers all the time, minor leagues moving from different levels, different managers all the time. At the big leagues, he's had different managers every other year pretty much. So for him to say something like that, he's had a lot of experience in different coaches throughout his whole life. And whether it's in youth baseball, minor league baseball, or the big leagues. And maybe they've struck up a relationship and it factors in.
Oh my. Over the shift, through the shift, you name it. Bryce digging for a couple. And on the bobble by Polanco, he's easily into second base.
That was shot out of a cannon, folks. That's what Davey Martinez is saying. Watch this. Fastball, 113-mile-an-hour double for Bryce Harper. And then he's running so hard his helmet comes off. Well, it comes off either way. Look at that face guard up around his eye. It's almost where he couldn't see for a second. Then Tim Bogart pointing to second. Bryce already knows that. You can't stop him. Louis leadoff on base again with a double.
Yeah, leading off the inning, so they're pinching at the corners. Trey Turner is in there. We really haven't talked much about the effect on Trey, who did bat second quite a bit behind Adam Eaton early last year. But now you've got a guy that you want to at least get to third. And Trey good at driving the ball, looking for RBI number 11. One.
I mean, we missed watching Bryce play. And, you know, he said he's 25 years old. He wants to hit.
And Turner's going to easily move the runner, and they better hurry. Safe, he's called. And Turner with a bunt base hit. Harper, of course, to third.
So Clint Hurdle's out of challenges. He's going to come out and ask politely if they can look at it again. And he's also going to say, was he out of the baseline? Great bump by Trey to get Bryce to third base.
Yeah, he was out on that play. Moroff looked like he got the foot down well before Trey got to the bag. Did he have the ball when he touched the bag?
He was safe by a mile. That's not what he's arguing about. The ball was still in the air when Trey's hand hit the base. It's just he created his own baseline right there. And did he go out of the baselines? He's safe by a mile. It's not even close there. "31 feet per second, they're telling me. That's really fast. And for those of you that work for NASA, you already know that.
So first and third, nobody out. Nothing but more danger coming for opposing pitchers right here.
Trey probably hang out a minute here, huh? Let Matt hit for a second. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see.
Kendrick waiting.
He didn't have a big lead at all.
Matt Adams with another shot. Turner stops at second. The Nats take a 3-2 lead, and Matt Adams has 5 consecutive at-bats driving in a run.
Weather's heating up, bats heating up. Let him stay on that sinker. He's a good low ball hitter. He's a good fastball hitter. He don't miss those. And when he hits them, it makes a different sound, doesn't it? It's real loud when he barrels up a baseball. So another good at-bat by Matt. Line moving here in the third. Same seats.
Howie Kendrick base hit to left his first time.
Another nice answer by the Nats offense.
And the cleanup guy showed bunt. That ball ending up well outside, and Cervelli got to it, keeping the runners at first and second. Into center. Marte, first out of the inning.
So I've been showing you all the boys running around the field. Daniel Murphy said he was feeling his knee a little bit today and going to kind of reevaluate. And here's Anthony Rendon practices base running and his sliding at home. Watch the technique, folks.
Safe.
I'm going to have to challenge that. There's
Hey, you
Murph.
folks down in Woodbridge. Anthony Rendon rehab tomorrow with the Peanuts. Had a meeting in front of Daniel Murphy. Very frustrated is how Davey described Murph today in his presser. To the bag, Moroff, and with him staying there, Nova the step off. Time given. And the front door curveball for a strike.
A curveball backed up crazy. You see that? You normally don't see a curveball go that way. That was almost like a left-handed curveball. Cervelli did a nice job stopping it.
Taylor waiting for the hook that time, and over by the first throw into the seats. Count stays 1-2. Dan, what else do you have on Daniel Murphy?
Well, Bob, as FP indicated, Daniel Murphy a little frustrated right now. He's been going through pregame workouts the last few days and feels good when hitting, feels good when fielding ground balls, but it's the running that still isn't there yet. He feels some discomfort in that knee still. He wants to be back. He said as a ball player, I want to be back yesterday, but he also said, I only want to come off the DL once. So he wants to make sure that once he's back for good, and he's the Daniel Murphy that he knows and we know he can be. So he's going to continue to take his time with this thing.
1-2 to Taylor. Swing and a miss and a ball down and in.
Plus, I think from a selfish standpoint, you got to be selfish in this game sometimes. It's his contract year. You want to come out here hobbling around and put up bad numbers. You want to show everybody you're 100% healthy. And, you know, it was funny how when everybody announced his surgery and they said microfracture surgery, and then a lot of thought was he'll be ready for opening day. I've had 3 knee surgeries. The word microfracture and opening day did not sync up with me. That's the serious one. That's the big one. So it's not surprising to me that it's taken him this long. Would you rather have Daniel Murphy from June on or July on, or have him hobbling around, going on the DL, going back on the DL? He uses his legs more than most hitters. So, I mean, besides running, the base for when he's attacking the baseball is the most important thing. You don't have your legs, you're not going to hit, especially if you're Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, key. Off the DL once. Now Andrew Stevenson needs to shorten up here, get the ball in play somehow. The Nats, after 3 consecutive hits, have not advanced Turner and Adams. Swing and a miss. That's it for the bottom of the 3rd. Nationals put some hits together for the 2nd time tonight and have a 3-2 lead.
John's delivery of the game. This looks like a salami sub beating Starling Marte to second. Look at the pop time, 199, arm strength 84 miles an hour. So to throw out a guy with 8 stolen bases on the year, you got to be quick, you got to be accurate, you got to have something on it. So check all those boxes on that salami sub.
Strasburg, 56 pitches, 37 strikes. David Freese struck out leading off the 2nd.
It's where ideally you want a 1-2-3 right back in the dugout, keep that 3-2 lead.
Yeah, the last time he faced these three batters, he did just that. Got him back in the dugout with a 2-1 lead. This one up the middle and well placed by Freese. Back-to-back Cy Youngs, and now you can take home the Max Cy Young bobblehead presented by PNC. First 25,000 fans Friday. Nats Phillies 7:05 first pitch. It's the second of 5 Nats bobbleheads in 18. Visit nationals.com and then come visit the ballpark and be here early. Jordy Mercer hit one about 385 to right center first time. Michael A. Taylor caught it up against the tall padded wall out there to the left of the scoreboard. What a ball game in New York tonight. Sean Newcomb and Jacob deGrom hooking up, scoreless so far. 2-2, and we heard that now that Jacob deGrom had to come out of the ball game after 46 pitches for the Mets.
It says undisclosed reasons in the New York Daily News.
So Paul Sewald took over from him.
46 pitches dominating the Braves, came off the field and headed straight to the Mets clubhouse. We hope he's okay.
Braves have won 3 in a row. They're half game behind New York. Phillies have a 2-run lead, trying to break a 4-game losing streak. And a good stop backhand by Severino. Phillies will be here Friday. 2-0 for them in Miami right now. Now that'll fill the count. Payoff pitch and a foul. Strasburg's first 6 starts, 6 1/3, 6, then 8 against the Braves here in a fabulous 3-hit shutout win. 6 against the Rockies, 7 at the Dodgers, 6 1/3 against the D-backs. He got jammed on that one. Strasburg makes the call and makes the putout. No time for an infielder. Why not grab it? Nationals' upcoming schedule brought to you by Sandy Spring Bank, where they help people and businesses reach their goals every day. Sandy Spring Bank, from here for 150 years. Jeremy Hellickson, right-hander Trevor Williams, who's off to a good start. 3-1 with a 2.15 ERA tomorrow. The Phillies are in. Then you see the first game of our 7-game San Diego, Arizona trip next week.
Who's going to pitch that first game in San Diego for the Nets?
Mr. Director, can we have a shot of the pitcher, please?
Somebody, yeah, that guy.
There you go. We don't ask for shots
from San Diego. Good shot of Davey directing traffic down there. Case Ivan Nova lays one down to third, lays one down to first. He looked like he was covering all the possibilities.
Chuck Whitlock, thank you for saying ready for take 4. Now it's 1-1. Now he's going to call all the cameras, all the different angles, to show just how much gear we have here. That's a good look at the curveball. Nice job taking the camera behind the plate to see the big drop on that. Feel like this is an interactive game for us.
Did he go? Did he jab? Ooh. He jabbed and took his hand off all at the same time, like his bat was really hot. I think he tried to pull it back and it slipped.
2-2. And that is a called third strike. 2 down in the 4th. Strikeout number 5.
Washington area Toyota dealers help children and their families by making a donation of $44 to the Children's NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Strasburg now 48 strikeouts this year. 11 walks. Leadoff hitter. Their guy 0 for 2. So Moroff up there hacking. He's fouled out and struck out swinging.
And Bryce has a homer and a double, speaking of leadoff hitters. And if you're thinking about the cycle, I don't think he's going to see anything to hit the rest of the night.
I had that same thought as he was pulling into second base.
Depends on who's where in the situation. I mean, obviously first and second or bases loaded, you got to pitch to him. But if there's a base open, I don't think. Like I said, it's cyclical. We've seen it since 2012. When he's in a little bit of a rut, they pitch to him. He gets hot, they stop pitching to him. It must be tough. He locks in, all of a sudden hits some balls in the seats. 113-mile-an-hour double. We'll see. But we've seen this movie before, right?
Good slide by Severino to keep Freese at first.
Yeah, it's no knock on who's hitting behind him, Carp. You could sandwich him in between Judge and Stanton, and they're still not going to pitch to him if it's a right-hander. You're going to take your chances with right-handers on right-handers. Doesn't matter. He's Bryce Harper.
Strasburg with the changeup. 2 Ks in a row, 6 in the game. He's through 4 now. And it's the 4th inning of Nationals baseball, brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. 3-2 Nats. The greatest race of Abe's career. He's always been a great closer, but forget it after about the first 50 yards.
That could be the freeze in the Abe uni. Is it National Bowling Day? I'll check.
No, but I do have a preview for the 7th inning. Evidently in 1908, Take Me Out to the Ball Game was published on this day. So that was Abe's 4th of the year. Thomas Jefferson has 4, George has 5, and Teddy's still stuck on 2 after winning the first couple races of the season.
He took his glasses off.
Severino, Strasburg, and Defoe. Well, he did swing at a breaking ball that ended up way outside first time up. You know, and I asked Pedro, can you tell any difference between daytime and nighttime? He said, I really don't know yet. Just something he's going to have to get used to if he stays in this direction.
Yeah, a lot of people wear the sunglasses when they hit.
That's a better swing, and it's a base hit. Severino's 13th hit in 51 at bats.
During day games, guys will wear sunglasses, but a lot of guys will tell you that they don't like, you know, seeing the nose piece when they're hitting, that it kind of throws them off. And a lot of guys will also tell you that they use sunglasses during day games so that they can peek and see the signs, and you can't see where their eyes are looking.
There's a good bunting opportunity for Steven Strasburg, who has 2 sacrifice bunts this year. So here's where the pitcher batting 8th goes well for the Nats in terms of setting up the situation. He'll lay off that one outside.
Yep. Yep, it's a bunt sign. No idea.
That ball evidently hit the plate. Strasburg thought it was close enough, started running, but it came down behind him.
You know, as a third base coach, I don't know what the Nats do. I've talked to Bob Henley. He's a good friend. I don't want to know. But you don't put the bunt sign every time on, because if you're putting the bunt sign on every time, the other team's looking at your signs. So what a lot of teams will do is they'll just put it on once for the first pitch, and then you look to see if they take it off after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you got a guy up there for 5 pitches and I'm the third base coach and I'm putting the bunt sign on for 5 pitches, guess what? Third base dugout's 2 feet from me. They got the bunt sign. So what you generally do is put it on for the first pitch, and it stays on unless I take it off. So there's a wipe-off sign in there somewhere, or maybe a Butcher Boy sign in there somewhere. But generally speaking, I'm not sure how the Nats do it, but most teams will just put a sign on once so as not to tip it off.
2-1 here. Strasburg squares very early.
See, like right now, he's looking again. If he puts a bunt sign on for the 6th time in a row, I mean, you'd have to be an idiot if you're in the Pirates dugout and you didn't get it. So he just, it's either on or off based on the first sign he gave.
Strasburg lays down a beauty. Perfect. Beldemore off 3-4 on the sacrifice, and now it's Defoe and Harper with a chance to put the Nats further ahead. With more on the energy and everything of Defoe, here's Dan.
Well, Bob, yeah, energy, and FP referenced it earlier on that after Wilmer Defoe's homer yesterday, his first homer of the season, he was flexing in the dugout. He was all energetic. Davey Martinez had a great line before the game. He said Defoe hit his homer yesterday. You'd have thought it was his 500th, the amount of celebrating that he was doing in the dugout. Everybody getting a kick out of Wilmer Defoe and what he brings.
Yeah, that got a big laugh in the press room, and Davey later said, I thought I had energy until I met this guy.
I mean, you need that as a ball club. You need a guy that's a good player, B, brings it every single day, and Wilmer does both of those, but you also need the entertainment factor in the clubhouse. If you got a bunch of boring stiffs and there's 25 of them, I mean, you just kind of drive the clubhouse, but you have guys like Wilmer, you can't wait to get there. There's certain guys on a team that make you want to get to the clubhouse because they're hilarious. They're always doing things in the clubhouse. You're a family for 6 months. And, you know, the family needs some goofy members too. Some guys that keep it light, that make you laugh. And I think Wilmer's one of those guys. He provides energy on and off the field for this team.
6 times on base in this series. He's going to slap a base hit the other way. Severino had to hold, so he stops at third. Bryce Harper coming up. There's a base open, but what do you do if you're Clint Hurdle?
I don't know. That's why I'm wearing a tie and lots of makeup, Bob, so I don't have to make these decisions. Check out the swing by Wilmer. Just stays on the sinker. Little 5.5 hole action. Tony Gwynn would have loved that swing right there. Vintage Gwynn-like swing right between short and third. Nicely done. So yeah, here we go. What do you do?
So Defoe now 5 for 8 against the Pirates.
You pitch carefully here with curveballs, I believe, but maybe the runner on third takes the curveball bouncing away. We'll see.
And don't forget about Defoe, 2 for 3 stealing. Of course, that would guarantee they'd put Bryce on if he stole second, you would think.
Trey's hot, Matt's hot. Maybe he gets something hit here.
It was a fastball, appeared to be just off the plate. Nova's walked only 4 batters all season. He doesn't like to put people aboard. Target away again.
You know, there's no double play on deck either if you're thinking about pitching around Bryce with Trey Turner.
So this is the 3rd time in 2 games Bryce has batted with Defoe aboard. And with Severino at third, here it comes, way outside, 2-1.
All fastballs, just sinkers away. 70th pitch coming. I think if Bryce is thinking left center right here, he's in good shape.
That's about hit the Pirates 8-6 and lead 3-2. Severino way down the line. Pirates are going to have to hurry. Harper beats it, gets an RBI, and it's a 4-2 game.
Well, he showed you Bryce hustling on his double last time up, and he's smelling an RBI, and more importantly, the 4th run of the night for the Nats. So look at Bryce busting it down the first baseline. I thought that had a double play possibility the way Moroff charged that ball. He charged it hard, and he flipped it to short Mercer real quick. But the speed of Bryce Harper gets the Nats a 2-run lead again.
And 2 more RBIs tonight, 24 on the year. Turner up there swinging. 1 for 2 with a bunt base hit.
Might go here too, by the way, once he catches his breath at first.
Bryce has been running 3 for 3. There he goes. Pitch mishandled by Cervelli. Bryce Harper, 4th stolen base.
He's a leadoff hitter. It's official now. I mean, he's doing everything. Homer, double, beats out a ground ball, stealing second base. Louis leadoff, folks. It used to be Larry leadoff, but he's gone now, so we're going with Louis leadoff. Great jump. Cervelli on the transfer tried to hurry, couldn't make the play, and Bryce with his 4th bag.
Nationals 2nd of the night. Taylor earlier. 0-2 to Trey. And that one to short. Big hop, and Mercer, instead of trying to throw out Trey Turner, will just toss it over to Freese, who tags Harper. Inning over to the 5th. Nats pick up a nice add-on run.
3 times, a home run. It's almost like he's from another planet. Star Wars Day is back at Nats Park on Saturday, May 5th. Nats take on the Phillies, 4:05 start. How was that, Bob? First 10,000 fans will take home a pair of Han Solo Boba Fett socks. That's courtesy of Stance. Use the Force to visit Nationals.com where you'll find the tickets you're looking for. He is playing out of his uni. We missed Bryce playing. He had a month off almost.
He's having a blast. Think of all the energy he conserved that he'll be using in the month of May. No swings, says Mike Estabrook, 5th inning underway. Strasburg to the 2 big problems he's had in the lineup tonight, Polanco and Marte. They're 4 for 4. Polanco a single and a double, scoring 2 runs.
You know, in 2012 he won Rookie of the Year, obviously. I remember talking to Bryce in spring training the next year, and he said, I want to lead off. He hit second in 2012 when he won Rookie of the Year. In 2013, he led off 16 games for the Nats. He batted 1 other time, but he started 16 games at leadoff spot.
And a pop-up right side, Howie Kendrick. Good start to the 5th inning for Strasburg. Inside the Numbers brought to you by PNC Bank. Make today the day. So best records by winning percentage since the start of 16, and the Nats have the top 2. Look at that, 750 ball behind Max, 744 ball behind Steven. Almost a guaranteed win over that time. And here's Marte.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is he's used to hitting leadoff. He's not scared of hitting leadoff. And he's showing you that he's not just an Anthony Rizzo big first baseman hitting leadoff. He can bring a lot more to the table than just hitting home runs.
And there just might be that one game along the line every once in a while where he gets an extra at bat in a game where you need something big to happen.
And I honestly think that when everybody's here, he might hit second. Well, the analytics say that's where the best hitters hit nowadays.
Wow. 0-2 to Marte. Strasburg going right at him.
It's about 150 at-bats more a year when you hit second versus 4th or 5th. So we'll see. Stay tuned. So far, so good for Louis leadoff.
Braves have a run in the 6th at New York. 1-0 there. Swing and a miss. 2 down, strikeout number 7.
Starting to get into that groove a little bit. We talk about he's a rhythm pitcher. Mercedes-Benz will show you a nasty changeup at 91 for strike 3. That's his go-to pitch. The high fastball is his strikeout pitch too. I guarantee you those 18 strikeouts, 15 or 16 have been on fastballs high out of the zone.
So Strasburg arrives at 50 strikeouts with 11 walks. Nothing like a little contact for a quick out to end the inning. Josh Bell retired. Steven Strasburg, after some long innings, on a roll now, enjoying and working with very well a 2-run lead.
second one. This is the two-seam fastball Tater, his third home run in 2 games. Going the other way. Check this out. You want to know why he's hitting home runs? Watch the head and the foot. So it's just a little leg kick, not gaining much ground. The head stays right in the circle. So his head's staying still. There's not a lot of body movement, and that's why he's seeing the ball so big right now. The head is frozen. He's not gaining with that leg kick, and he's picking it up, putting it down right where it started.
5 hits in a row, 3 homers, 2 singles, and an RBI with every one of those at bats. Nova 73 pitches, 48 strikes through 4. Steven Strasburg just had a 9-pitch 5th inning.
But you see how still his head is, and what's the advantage of that? It's recognizing pitch type, it's recognizing pitch location. When your head's moving and the ball's going 95, it's hard to decipher all that. Good take. He's seen it large.
(3-1) on a danger count. Nova throws one well outside. That's his first walk tonight. Only his 5th of the year.
I don't think he wanted much to do with Matt there.
Howie Kendrick 1 for 2. Base hit to left, fly ball to center. Howie 5 for 14 career, going back to their American League days against 31-year-old Ivan Nova.
And don't forget last night, it was a fun game to watch. Offense is cool, but Kinsler, Madsen, and Doolittle had the night off, and in a 2-run game right now, you really just need one more out of Steven.
Jammed, and he muscles it into right field. Adams checks in at second, and again the Nats have runners aboard, nobody out.
You'll hear pitchers a lot saying, I made a good pitch, I broke his bat. Well, if this pitch is down, it's a ground ball, but look at the location. It's belt high, so when you throw a sinker belt high, it allows the hitter to throw it over the infield. If that's down around Howie's knees, that's 4-6-3. I used to hear pitchers in the dugout all the time saying, I made a great pitch. It's broken bat after broken bat. Well, every time there's a broken bat single over the infield, it's generally a high pitch, and that's not where you want to be.
Chance for a big inning here. Michael A. Taylor. Pirate bullpen gets busy. That ball hit hard into left, and the bases are going to be loaded for Andrew Stevenson.
Good swing, line moving, same seats. The exit velocity average tonight for the Nats has been, I'd like to know the total exit velocity for every ball hit in play tonight. I guarantee you it's hovering around triple digits.
Right-hander Edgar Santana. Ray Searage a visit to the mound. Santana has not appeared in this series yet. So coming into this one, winning 4 out of 6, including 3 in a row. Runs are up to almost 7 a game. Batting average .290. The Nats have raised their batting average about 10 points in the last week and a half. The home runs, even the doubles. Doubles are really important. They get guys in scoring position.
That .290 is 4th best mark in all of baseball, too. 110-mile-an-hour single for Michael A. Chip Hale crushing coffee. Doesn't need it.
Huge spot for Andrew Stevenson. Traffic all over the place, and the breaking ball in for a strike.
It's a good take. You don't want that yet.
Santana joined by Kyle Crick. Good. Ooh, I about to say good take, and a fastball near the outside edge called for a strike, and I think it should have been a good take. Wow.
That's the rookie no respect call there.
Changes the at bat. Stevenson, a bat hopper off the second baseman. 2 runs will score. Andrew digging for 2. Stays on the bag, and the Nats lead 6-2.
I mean, everybody hustling all over the pillows right now. This is nice. Short hop for Moroff. He can't make the play. And watch Michael A go to third. And Andrew Stevenson hustling into second base as soon as he sees that trickle away. So aggressive base running by the Nats and putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. Wait, what just happened? I love it.
Well, Severino just got walked, and the bases are loaded. So Steven Strasburg, chance to bust this thing wide open. They've given Moroff an error on that, but you can't assume the double play, so Stevenson will come away with that with 1 RBI.
Good wheels on third. Do you push this to first if you're Steven? Negative.
Nobody out.
It's Davey's favorite play, the runner on third lesson. He's got to go talk to Bob Hamley and get it straight. He was confused when he got in the first pitch. You could see him kind of barking at Bob like, I didn't know what you put on right there, and they'll talk about it, get it straight. I think he said bunt it to first, if I'm reading lips right.
Did that really well last time toward the right side. Advanced Severino. And after a Defoe base hit, the Harper grounder put the Nats up by a run. Squares are on early, and the Pirates go pitch out. Ball 1.
Josh Bell charging hard. Took it off.
So Adams and Kendrick have already scored. Taylor, who singled, is at third. Stevenson, who made contact and good things happen, at second. Severino walked intentionally while we were sorting out the previous play. 1 and 2 to Strasburg. Good take. Cervelli keeps it close. Steven Strasburg, 18 career runs batted in. Looking for his first of this year. Swing, a foul tip, and the first out of the inning.
The Nats and the Phillies renew their NL East rivalry with a 3-game weekend series at Nats Park, May 4th, 5th, and 6th. Max Scherzer bobblehead will be here, presented by PNC. Star Wars Day, kids run the bases for free and more. Visit Nationals.com for tickets.
Big spot for Defoe, and he's been big in this series. Takes it low. Wilmer is 5 for 8, 2 walks, 4 runs, a homer, and he's driven in 2. Bases loaded, 1 out. Harper on deck. Pirates in trouble here. Defoe takes the off speed, ball 2. With that man at third, Michael A. Taylor, don't have to hit it that far to make it 7-2. And Defoe will ground it right side, and he's really got to dig. Safe is the call. It is 7-2.
Pretty close. He looks safe from way up here with the naked eye. Let's watch it again in Xmo. It never lies. There's been a lot of close ones. That Howie Kendrick on the base challenge has loomed large in this game. Pirates out of challenges, and there's been some close ones that maybe Clint Hurdle wish he still had.
Yeah. Kind of like a coach using a lot of timeouts early. There is a base open at second base. Harper in there. 5-run lead. Defoe at first and Stevenson at third. Good speed all around. Harper to the gap in right center. That'll make it 8-2. And Bryce Harper has 3 RBIs on 3 hits tonight.
On base again. Not via the walk. And Ivan Nova was left out there a long time, wasn't he? Check out the swing one more time. Looked like a changeup that he just kind of stayed through. Muscled it out to right center. Head still, foot down early. Strong man, 3rd hit of the night.
Pirates need some expert pitching. If you need expert printing, the UPS store has you covered. Together, there's nothing they can't solve. The Nats all over the Pirates now, 8-2. Been all year.
You're right.
And by that we mean top to bottom, power threats, RBI threats. One tough hitter after another, and Trey's the 9th man to bat here in the 5th. Kyle Crick.
Yeah, I got a lot of quit making excuses for the weather for these hitters in April on Twitter. It's a fact. If you've ever played in cold weather and tried to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and 18 layers of clothes, it's not easy. this game was not meant to be played in 30 to 40 degree weather, which they had a crummy April, but everybody in baseball did. So now it's warming up. You're feeling good about yourself. You get a little sweat going. You're used to playing baseball in the summer in warm weather. That's why they got out of the gate so quick last April. It was 60s and 70s every day here at Nats Park.
It was. Turner on 0-2, taking the breaking pitch, and Francisco Cervelli, you would think, will get a well-deserved day off in the day game tomorrow. Catching all 3 games of this series and about 80% of their games so far. He's been busy tonight. Turner 1 for 3 with a bunt base hit. High in the air to right. Polanco will drift with it. Nats are gone, but they will put 4 runs on the board with 9 batters in the 5th inning.
Arsenal. He's been heavy on the slider tonight. There it is. He's thrown that 13 times. I guarantee you that's the most he's thrown it this year. That's the nasty turbo changeup. He's thrown that 12 times tonight. Curveball for strike 3. He's thrown 12 of those as well. And 47 heaters for Steven Strasburg tonight. The 100% fiber optic network means more speed for more devices at once. Visit getfios.com.
After 3 innings, Strasburg had 56 pitches, but now with 2 more added on, he's at 84. He's gone at least 6 every start this year. Dickerson, Cervelli, and Freese. And Corey Dickerson has driven in both Pittsburgh runs tonight. Fielder's choice grounder in the 1st, and a nice clean single to left in the 3rd. So the Pirates box, he got those RBIs because Polanco and Marte went 4 for 4 before Strasburg got them both in the 5th inning. David Freese a base hit in the 4th, and that's about it. Stevens retired 7 of the last 8 Pirates. Two of those runs the Nats scored in the 5th unearned because of the Moroff error. So they get to Nova for 8 runs, 6 earned in 4 2/3. Fooled him. Changeup diving down and away. Strikeout number 8.
Same release point, same arm speed as a fastball. Kind of jumping at you, then throws the turbo change at 88.
Cervelli has struck out swinging twice. Well hit. Right center. Taylor and Harper can only watch it. And Cervelli has hit an opposite field homer, his 5th of the year. Off to the best start of his big league career.
His career high is 7. And he's got 5 already this year. Worked on his launch angle, getting stronger in the offseason. You see the swing. Fastball up. Ball flying here tonight with the warm temperatures.
Yeah, Cervelli a little bit beat up the last 2 years. He's healthy. Only played 81 games last year, 101 the year before that. Gave that baby a ride, and David Freese is next. Ball 1 to him. Cervelli's first career hit against Steven Strasburg. Who has now given up 8 homers, but the way the offensive going, you give up solo homers, you've got a great chance to win a ball game these days. Trey Turner, backhand side. 2 down. No better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day. Check in on Tyler Mapes from Plano, Texas. Went to Tulane. Guy battling 30th rounder 4 years ago. And in his career, 23-14, 3-0 this year, and pitching great for the Potomac Nationals. He was hurt all of last year and did not pitch. Most recent full season, Harrisburg 2 years ago, he went 12-10. On the mend and well done. Tyler Mapes. By the way, no better time to act than today. Make today the day at PNC.
Pitch number 95 coming.
Nasty. 2 more strikeouts in the 6th, and a possibility Steven could go 7 tonight. Enjoying some offense to support him. Nats lead 8-3. To get to work, Guts Glory Ram will put Dan to work here with more on Matt Adams.
Matt Adams over the last 2 ball games And one of them the other night was to left center field. I asked him after last night's game, when he's hitting the ball with power the other way, what that tells him about his swing. He said, it tells me that I'm connected. I'm seeing the ball where it's pitched, and I'm putting a good swing on it. And he said that people over his career keep assuming that he's only a pull hitter, but he feels that he can drive the ball effectively the other way, and he's shown it the last couple nights.
Using the ballpark, 2 opposite field home runs.
Abusing the ballpark.
Adams, Kendrick, Taylor. Kyle Crick, 4 pitches to get Turner out. So bottom 6 here. Nats have out hit the Bucks 11-7, leading 8-3. And now the Braves in New York leading 6-0. There's about to be a new first place team in the NL East tonight if that holds up.
May 2nd, Bob.
I watch the scoreboard every day.
I know you do. I don't watch till around the All-Star break. I know what the Nats record is. I know who their playing record is, and the standings to me are irrelevant till, I don't know, Labor Day.
Oh, now it's 7-0. Sorry, I looked again. 1-2.
I remember when you're in player mode, you honestly don't know how many games back or up you are. It's all you're concerned about. Who's on the mound today, and is my swing right, and are we going to win tonight's game?
Couldn't stop. Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, with the call. So the Nats box, where do we start? How about the number 1 guy? 3 hits, 3 RBIs. How about the number 3 guy? 2 hits, a walk, 2 RBIs. 2 hits for Howie. And then some production at the bottom of the lineup, where Severino has a hit and a walk. And oh yeah, Defoe another hit. And Wilmer now has RBIs in 9 of his last 17 games. That ball hit really well, heading for the gap in the scoreboard, and hits at the very bottom of it. And guess what? It's another Howie Kendrick double. It's in the top 3 in the league this year, and that will be number 11.
Howie Kendrick, professional hitter. You remember when the Nats got him last year, and everyone's saying, well, what position does he play? I said, he's a hitter. Doesn't matter. Done a nice job at second defensively filling in for Daniel Murphy. He can play outfield too adequately, but what Howie Kendrick does best is that. And right center field is his power too. He's done a nice job of turning on the ball more this year, but that is a vintage Howie Kendrick double.
Taylor 1 for 3 and a swing and a miss. Michael A. Base hit last time. It was big for him. He was 1 for 10 in the series. Had a double his last time up Monday night. Last night, 12 runs on 10 hits. Tonight, 8 runs, 12 hits. And it's the 6th inning.
Even Ovi got a hit last night. Did you see that last goal? Knocked it out of the air.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Shot, post, air, in the net. Michael A. works it back even, 2-2. Ah,
there he is. I knew he'd be here tonight. It's only a 4-hour drive from Pittsburgh.
Nats trying to make it 3 in a row over the Bucks, who came to town with a long winning streak of 5 games. 3-2 now, and Howie Kendrick back in.
You'd think, though, a guy as famous as Alex wouldn't have to wear his jersey everywhere, but apparently he does.
And Taylor will reach out and pop one up on the infield. Max Moroff, 2 outs. So this weekend, and by the way, tomorrow Anthony Rendon will be in Potomac. Saturday's the Strasburg, Kentucky Derby bobblehead, first 1,250 fans. Fireworks after the game down there on Saturdays, so give them a ring or log on to PotomacNationals.com. Here's Andrew Stevenson, 0 for 3 with the infield in last time. Hit the ball sharply off of Moroff, and by the time the Pirates picked up the ball, the Nats had 2 runs home, and that took a 4-2 game and made it 6-2.
Could be your Miller Lite hold true moment. You never know.
Pirates will be down to 2 mound visits after this. Two and 0.
Got a left on right matchup. Would you think about a green light here if you're Dave Martinez?
Three-one pitch. Dropped the breaking ball in there.
He's had some tough calls go against him tonight. All the borderline pitches. It looked like it fooled Francisco Cervelli for a minute. Look at him. He might have got crossed up, I think. He said, "Look at me," to Crick after that pitch.
Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast, and here's a 3-2, and Stevenson will get an RBI. As coming around third is Howie Kendrick, and the Nats are pouring it on. It's 9-3.
I'll tell you what, Andrew Stevenson is this year's version of Brian Goodwin. The more you see him play, the more you like. And we were saying that about Brian a lot last year. 2-out knock, bat died a hero.
This lineup is long, and next up is Severino. 13 base hits.
Yeah, we watched Steven go into the dugout, and Derek Lilliquist walked over to him and said, "I'm fine." There's Derek doing a great job with the staff.
Swinging from the heels. Strike one to Severino.
For every Nats walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support boys and girls clubs of Greater Washington. The Nationals have drawn 133 walks. That's the most in baseball, for a total of $6,650. Care First encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. So most in the National League. And he has all 133 of them.
Seems like it. 2-2 to Pedro Severino. And the breaking ball away gets him. Nats are gone, but Kendrick and Stevenson team up for a 9th run in the 6th.
Well, a lot of good stuff going on at the yard tonight. Bryce Harper, who knows if he'll catch Ricky Henderson, but that's his first leadoff homer of his career. Matt Adams, stay hot. Steven Strasburg getting it done. All fun and games here at the yard. Beautiful night for baseball. It's still 78 degrees at 9:23, and it's 9-3 Nats. We have been waiting for spring to arrive.
Adam Frazier will pinch hit for Kyle Crick, the pitcher. Frazier 1 for 8 in the series. He was their leadoff guy first couple of games. 0 for 6 career against Steven Strasburg.
We're good now, right? I can throw all the winter stuff in the basement.
I hope we never talk about cold weather again. And we made a resolution up here. Yeah. Maybe at the beginning of this homestand. First person to complain about hot weather.
Yep.
You're out of here.
We're throwing them right out of the booth.
You are ejected.
Yep. I'm seeing 90s, high 70s, and high 80s for the 10 days. So, yeah, I'm putting all the hoodies away.
Sammy Solis and Trevor Gott.
Close.
Swing and a miss. That's number 10. So 38th career game with 10 strikeouts or more.
Nasty curveball. He's thrown a lot of them tonight. Giving you a different look, and here comes the 4th time through for Steven Strasburg.
'53 Ks on the year now. Started the night 7th in the league. He's now 3rd, 2 behind Patrick Corbin and 12 behind his teammate. Leadoff man Max Moroff is 0 for 3. Foul out, couple of Ks. Great command of the curve. 2 hours and 20 minutes after he threw his first pitch. Wow.
Curveball. It's pretty good. Fun to talk about it up here. Fun to watch from the center field camera. Not fun to dig in the batter's box and try to hit this. Filth.
Here's Polanco 2 for 3. Jack Trevor for the 8th. So Strasburg a chance here to retire 13 of his last 15 opponents.
Thrown 19 curveballs tonight. 5 swinging strikes, 5 called strikes on that pitch.
Into center. Michael A. Taylor, and the Nats crowd should give Steven Strasburg a really nice walk-off here. 7 strong innings after some really tough times early.
The Miller Lite hold true moment. Gonna show you a little hustle by the fellas tonight. They're playing hard. The base hit bunt by Trey Turner, 30.9 feet per second. That translates to 87 miles an hour. Here's Bryce Harper. Check him hustling. So Trey was 30 feet per second. Bryce was 29.5 feet per second. So smelling an RBI, getting down the line. And then Andrew Stevenson on the error chugs into second base, playing hard. So that's kind of the theme tonight. Boys playing hard. Steven Strasburg pitching well. Louis leadoff, getting it done.
Moises Sierra against lefty Stephen Brault, 26-year-old southpaw. Originally drafted by the Orioles and to the Pirates in that, actually a deal to complete the earlier Ivan Nova deal with the Yankees. Brault got from Baltimore to Pittsburgh, and he faces Sierra for the first time. Adam Frazier on a double switch stays in and plays right. So Gregory Polanco has the rest of the night off. One-two pitch. Right in there.
All right, watch every Auto Market regular season game live at home or in the office or on the go with MLB.tv. You can watch in your car, but not if you're driving. That's not safe. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported device. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Defoe, first time against Brault.
You know, former teammate of mine, Justin Miller, was told to wear sleeves. He had so many tattoos on his arm, but he pitched for the Blue Jays, the late Justin Miller. And I'm wondering when it becomes too much to where it's a distraction for the hitter.
Yeah.
The league made him wear long sleeves in every game. He had sleeves on, but they were tattoos. They made him wear long sleeves.
And Defoe drills one that'll plug the gap. Wilmer Defoe is having some kind of series against the Pirates. So 2 for 4 tonight, again with an RBI, a single, and now a double.
Just starting to find his rhythm at the plate and with the season. I mean, fastball, pretty good pitch, down and away, and watch him just drill the 103-mile-an-hour double to right field. Stay hot, Wilmer. And do they pitch to Bryce? Left on left. 9-3 game, probably.
Harper 1-for-1 career with a walk and a single against Stephen Brault. Right in on the trademark. And on the second out of the inning, Defoe to third. Trey Turner. And he's 1-for-1 against the lefty.
Got him on the backswing.
That was not a good sound. Into right. Frazier. First time since the second inning the Nats failed to score. Heating and Air. Find your local independent American Standard Heating and Air dealer at midatlanticcomfort.com. Speaking of comfortable, warm weather, 14 hits, 9 runs. It's happening for the Nats offense, and Steven Strasburg. Maybe the sneaky sequence, FP, of this game tonight is when he gets out of that first inning, giving up only 1 unearned run after everything that went on in that frame.
That's a great point by you. That might be something that bothered him a couple years ago with all the challenges. And it bothered him tonight, but he didn't let it affect, I should say, his outing, because that first inning was getting weird, right? All the challenges, there was stuff going on all over the place. He wasn't happy after the inning, maybe how long the challenges were taking when he talked to Eric Cooper, but he kind of got into that rhythm. 3rd or 4th inning, did a nice job tonight. Boys are swinging the bats, and I can't believe Tom Wilson got 3 games. It's ridiculous.
Well, we didn't know if Strasburg would pitch 7 tonight, but he got it. And now Trevor Gott. And another opportunity tonight to keep the back end of that bullpen very well rested. Low and away, 2-0. Marte, Bell, and Dickerson, 3, 4, 5 for the Bucks in the top of the 8th.
You come into a 9-3 game, all you got to do is throw strikes, let your defense work behind you. Obviously, you got to get outs, throw quality strikes.
Full count to Marte. Must have been low.
Yeah, last thing the skipper wants to see is walks up 9-3.
Here's Josh Bell. 0 for 2, base on balls. Way wide.
It just looks like at times Trevor Gott gets a little quick with everything, and then the strike zone eludes him. But here comes Derek Lilliquist to try to tighten him up a little bit and get him back in the zone. You come out of that bullpen in the big leagues, you got to hammer the strike zone. He knows it.
Braves have closed out that win at New York, so the Nats will gain a half game on first place, you might say, tonight if they'll hold on. And a chance to get back to within 1 game of 500. And it's Hellickson and Trevor Williams tomorrow in a day game. 2-0 now.
I mean, ideally, Trevor could finish this game. I don't think Dave Martinez wants to go deeper into his bullpen, so he's hoping that his right-hander comes in, throws strikes, gets some outs, because he didn't want to use anybody else.
That's going to help. Kendrick. He got it from Defoe. Around the horn go the Nats with a 5-4-3 double play.
That'll definitely help. Good turn by Howie. Nice feed by Wilmer, and nice job of getting the ground ball by Trevor Gott with the sinker. Quick release. They work on this every day before batting practice, and watch Wilmer. Quick feet, got rid of it with something on it. Same with Howie. I don't know if he touched the base or not. I didn't look.
No challenge, we know that. Base is empty, 2 outs. Dickerson. Good tailing fastball, catching the edge. Coming right at guys now. Up the middle, hard hit. Second hit for Corey Dickerson. This guy and flat out rake in the series. He's 4 for 12 with 5 runs batted in. Cervelli homer over the scoreboard. Last time up. Took a little bit off and just missed. Runner on the move, and a ball flied to left center. Long way for Taylor. Michael is there, just cruising to it. And we're going bottom 8, and a chance to see Matt Adams hit again. Howie and Michael A. right behind him.
Way back to the first inning. First batter for the Nats Bryce Harper got an off-speed pitch. It looked like there. I think I remember it being a heater. Anyhow, it was his 10th home run of the year. It went far into the upper tank. And there was a hug out in the dugout after the home run. Lots of love in the first base dugout. Heard your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. They'll hug you there too.
1 out later, Adams went left field side.
I love the sound the ball makes off his bat. Those are petunias, I was told.
So here in the 8th, second inning of work for Stephen Brault. Adams 0 for 1 career against him. Look out. 3-0.
Not a green light situation. Don't want to wake anybody up.
Matt Adams on for the 4th time tonight. His on-base percentage started the night at .397. Jeremy Hellickson, 3 starts, not a decision yet. ERA at 4.11, but he is 3-1 career against the Pirates with a .286 ERA in 5 starts. Trevor Williams off to a good start. He's 4-1 with a good ERA, 2.29, 23 Ks, but 17 walks in 35 innings from the 26-year-old right-hander. Howie Kendrick with a high fly ball to right.
You know, just kind of thinking about tomorrow, Carp, on the fly. You know, you've won the first 3 games of this series if you get 3 outs. You know, normally 3 out of 4 at the major league level against anybody, home or away, is fantastic. But when you've had maybe a little rough start with injuries and whatever, you have to have a sweep mentality tomorrow, in my mind, if you're Dave Martinez's ball club. You know, you have a team that you've handled. You know, I'm sure the Pirates are going to be ready to play tomorrow. It's a big league game. But these are the kind of series you have to sweep to make up ground. You know, for some of the tough 1-run losses they've had this year. So even though it's a quick turnaround, a 1 o'clock game, you've won the first 3. It's going to be hard to not have the we've won 3 out of 4 mentality. But championship ball clubs come out and they go for the sweep. And I think these guys will be ready for it tomorrow.
Yeah, then the Phillies, who are struggling, come into town, although they're ahead tonight.
I've been in those clubhouses, Carp, with day games, and you're just thinking, well, we won the first 3. Everyone's kind of dancing to music, and you go out there. Well, it'd be nice to sweep, but, you know, based on what's happened already.
Mike Olay with a stolen base in the first, a hit in the 5th, and a run scored. Got a base hit right in the middle of that 4-run rally. Swing and a miss, 2 down. Unbelievable what the Nats have done to the Bucks in this ballpark. If they win tonight, it'll be 14 of the last 17. The runs per game, it's almost a 2.5 run advantage. Starters ERA, no contest. Batting average, no contest. Home runs better than 2-1. Now PNC, it's a different story. It's been a tough place for the Nats over the years. Although they did have a clincher there a couple of seasons ago. Carlos Torres gave up 2 runs in the 9th last night. It's like Davey Martinez wants him to get out there and get some things right. So Madsen and Kinsler have not pitched since Monday night. Sean Doolittle hasn't pitched since his save on Sunday. So the back end of the bullpen for a possible 4 in a row over the Pirates tomorrow.
Chilling.
Will be well rested. That's not a rally cap by Brandon. That's by both of them. Let's go home and start thinking about tomorrow.
That's halfway to a nap right there. This is what that looks like to me. I mean, we're talking, and the manager's been talking about adding on runs. So you look at that 4 spot in the 5th, huge. I mean, this was looking like a 7, 8, 9 Kinsler, Madsen, Doolittle night. But those extra add-on runs takes pressure off the bullpen, takes pressure off Dave Martinez. We talked about all those 1-run games the Nats had all bunched up, 1 or 2-run games. And that'll stress out a bullpen, stress out a new skipper, and the fact that they're able to tack on some add-ons, have a little breathing room, is getting everybody into a rhythm, into a groove, and relaxing a little bit. I like it.
2-2 pitch. Adams on the move here. Stevenson strikes out. So Stephen Brault gives them a couple of scoreless innings. To the 9th. Nats by 6. Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. 6-run lead, 3 outs to get. Nats trying to win their 4th in a row overall, 3 against the Bucks, and it'll be another appearance for Carlos Torres, his 6th of the year. A little rough in the 9th inning last night. 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk. Nats had a huge lead, so he wants to get this thing over ASAP. Freese, Mercer, and Frazier.
6'1", 180, 35 years old. Fastball, cutter, curveball, the arsenal. Throws the cutter 41% of the time this year, 68% of the time last year.
Challenge fastball, and now the count's even. David Freese, 1 for 8 career against the Nets righty. Slider away and grabbed by Matt Adams. Playing well off the line and a pretty slick move to his right.
Pretty good play. Just kind of fell on the line drive. It may be fooled by the speed of it initially, but first out in the 9th.
Jordy Mercer 0 for 3. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight have had some very, very happy post-game shows for the last several days. They are next when this one's over. That's a good-looking curveball from Carlos Torres. Then he dropped another one on him. Defoe lets it go for Turner and Trey, very smooth, and Matt Adams had a tiptoe on that bag with the throw tailing toward the runner.
Ooh, that could have been gnarly. Matt Adams was reaching right into Jordy Mercer. Watch this. The throw kind of ran up the line from Trey. Watch Matt Adams. This is right when he's coming there, and I've seen so many guys get hurt on that play right there, where it kind of takes your wrist and your arm with the runner. So thank goodness that did not happen.
Adam Frazier on a double switch came in 7th inning as a pinch hitter. Steven Strasburg promptly struck him out for Strasburg's 38th career 10 strikeout game. Fastball up 2-0. Up the middle, look out. That'll get Max Moroff to the plate. Well, a rematch of the number 9 hole home run blast last night when Moroff took one deep out to right. Runner goes, Nats indifferent. After a bit of a pause, Eric Cooper calls it strike 2. Swing and a miss, and that's it. Strasburg solid through 7 after a rough start. Bryce got it all started. Matt Adams as well in the first inning. And the Nats score early and often, and they have scored 21 runs against the Pirates on 24 hits in the last 2 games.
They've scored 49 runs in their last 7 games for a 5-2 record. It's their 4th win in a row. And they are starting to feel it, folks, at the plate. It's starting to happen, kind of getting the rhythm into the season, and Dave Martinez is clapping because he's loving what he's seeing from his ball club.
Take so much pressure off the pitchers when you get offense like the Nats have done. And the starters have all done their job now over the last 4 days. Gio, Tanner, Max, Steven tonight. Hellickson gets the call tomorrow. So Screech raises the flag and the Nats win it 9-3. They've won 4 in a row. And here's Dan with that leadoff guy.
Thank you very much, Bob. Bryce, your team puts up 12 runs last night, 9 runs tonight. What do you like about the way the new lineup is flowing right now for your club overall?
Yeah, I think we're doing it, doing the right job and doing everything we can to have good at bats and do the things we can to win ball games.
You said yesterday, I'm 25, I want to hit. How differently does a ball game feel for you when you're able to put a few balls in play and run around a little bit?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This game is a lot of fun when you're able to get on base and score runs and win ball games. So as a team, I think we're doing a great job of that right now, and we can keep doing that, then we'll be on a roll.
Inside the dugout, it seems like a lot of fun right now. A lot of chatter, a lot of hugs. How would you describe the vibe of this ball club over the last couple days?
Yeah, I mean, we're having a blast. I mean, we've had a blast all year long. I mean, ever since spring training, and it all starts with Davey. He's done a great job for us all year long, and we're excited for the next 5 months, and one day at a time.
So you getting a hug after every homer?
I guess so. I'll take it.
Thanks for the time, Russ.
Thanks.
Another win for the Nationals, who take the series against the Pirates. They have a shot for a 4-game sweep here at Nationals Park tomorrow.